Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Yeehaw!
Yeah. Bundesliga's back, baby.
Bundesliga's back. Jawohl.
Bundesliga is back.
Bjorn, I owe you
don't
an apology. I owe you an apology.
I mean, I love it, but yes.
Last week, you had a very quite taciturn preview of the Bundesliga. You didn't really want to talk about it, and you just said, "Oh, I'll let you know, it's 34 games and Bayern's going to win it." And I have hope in my heart, and I'm like, "Come on now, it's football." Blah, blah. But no, the opening weekend happened, and nobody stepped up.
There's no evidence. There's no evidence.
There's no evidence.
I mean, you said RB Leipzig. They definitely did not.
They were like an amateur team. They lost 6-0. 6-0. They lost 6-0. It was pathetic. And in kicker right now, they're trying to argue that 6 goals shouldn't have counted. I'm like, give it to them. Who cares? Who cares? You could have. I mean, who cares? Bayern München just steamrolled Ole Werner and his RB Leipzig Jungens. And then it's like, well, okay, RB Leipzig was pathetic, losing 6-0. How is Bayer Leverkusen under new Erik ten Hag? With by the way, with 18 players out and 17 players in or something like that.
A huge turnover.
And I was like, dang. That's a bigger turnover than real. I went and looked very specifically. Most of those guys are youngsters. Excuse me. It's more like 8 in and 8 out, which is still quite the turnover as far as senior players. Yeah. But the Erik ten Hag revolution did not start well. They were at home and they lost to Hoffenheim 2-1.
It was televised, but it was not.
Yeah, the revolution.
The Erik ten Hag revolution was televised. He wishes it hadn't been. I mean, yeah.
Quiz Bjorn. This is a total sidetrack, but the way it works here in the Schnitzel Boys is Stefan's got a little ADHD, and when Bjorn hits that ADHD bell for me, I like to wander off the path a little bit. So the writer of The Revolution will not be televised is Gil Scott-Heron, correct?
I thought so, but you didn't tell me otherwise?
No. I'm telling you, Gil Scott-Heron is the son of Scottish footballer Gil Scott. Legendary Scottish footballer. This one's for your friend Kier. Which club did Gil Scott-Heron's father play for throughout his career?
Gil Scott?
No Googling. You're on the thing Googling.
No idea.
Well, Scotland. Scotland. I'm confirming I tend to be wrong sometimes, so I'm confirming. His father, Gil Heron, a Jamaican footballer. Gil Heron.
Okay.
He played. Oh, look at all this. He's got so many clubs, but just name the one big club in Scotland that he played for.
Well, it's got to be Celtic or Rangers.
I'm
going to go with Rangers.
Wrong. He was Celtic.
Oh.
You had a 50% chance to get it right, and you got it wrong. So his father, Gil Scott-Heron, who made that great song, "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised."
Now I feel like this has come up in the group chat previously.
Has it? Not my group chat.
In my group chat with Kier, yeah.
His father, Gil Heron from Kingston, played for the Chicago Maroons, Sparta, the Detroit Wolverines, the Detroit Venetia.
So he has a big American.
Played for the Detroit
that's how
Corinthians.
Gil Scott-Heron came over here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where that's probably when Gil Scott-Heron was born. He was probably born when his father was playing soccer in the United States.
One would surmise.
Then, after playing for Detroit Corinthians, Gil Heron went to play for Celtic, and then for third Lanark, then for the Kidderminster Harriers.
Oh, so he made his way to Scotland via the US from Jamaica.
From Detroit. Detroit.
Oh, from Detroit. Okay.
And then he died in Detroit. So this man was born in Jamaica, but I think he chose Detroit as his adopted home. And then from Detroit, went to Scotland for 4 years as a soccer player, and then went back to Detroit. That is a really cool, and we're talking the 40s and 50s here, Bjorn. So, just a fun little soccer history sidetrack, little American side. You know me, your boy Stefan.
Yeah, you got some windings in your noggin that spit out these little nuggets.
That's right. There's a little maze full of nuggets in here, and and his son Gil Scott Heron, a great musician, a great counterculture revolutionary. How would you describe his son?
Let's go with
Gil Scott Heron.
Let's go with
poet and musician. Musician. Born in Chicago, died in New York. But anyway, so that's a sidetrack. Back to what we're talking about. Bayer Leverkusen at home to Hoffenheim, 2-1. Then Borussia Dortmund.
I'm going to
all right, Borussia. All right, Dortmund.
I'm going to owe Kier an apology for guessing the wrong team. Okay. Yeah.
Well, the real guess was probably the Kidderminster. Those two other clubs.
Kidderminster, right.
But maybe ask if your friend Kier even knew that. How about that?
I think now I have a memory of this coming up previously, so I'm sure yes, he definitely knows this. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Anyway,
there is another. I was going to say I was about to talk about another American who played in Scotland in the 70s, because a lot of people think Yanks Abroad started with like Casey Keller in the 90s, and for a lot of Eric Rinaldo. But there were exceptions from beforehand, and there's a very obscure one from an NASL American goalkeeper going to a small Scottish club. And I think they were top flight at the time, and just playing for them for like 3 months. But he was like a hero. Like, he blocked a famous penalty, and they loved him. He was like the Yank they loved. He's like, that's our Yank. And he was there in the late 70s. And it's, how often do you hear a story about a Yank going to Europe in the 70s and becoming a club icon? It's probably limited to that one guy who has been forgotten in the years of American soccer obscurity. Anyway, we're talking Bundesliga, baby.
Bundesliga opening day.
First day, Borussia Dortmund. That was their term. You know what? Maybe Borussia Dortmund this year will get in there. They went to St. Pauli.
They were they were the ones we thought, were the most likely, perhaps.
They blew a 2-goal lead, and they drawed with little St. Pauli and Jimmy Sands 3-3. Jimmy Sands just manhandled that. No, I'm joking. He was I think he was the lowest rated player on the field. Not that he was bad or anything.
I did not watch that whole game. I watched the highlights, and Jimmy Sands was nowhere to be found in the highlights.
Yeah, that's about right.
But he's starting, and he's playing. And
he was also taken off. He was taken off when they were losing, and then they got the tie after he was taken off.
Okay, well, details.
That's okay. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Jimmy Sands was there. He played 86 minutes. He started. So but there you go.
There was a 3-3. Frankfurt are the only ones that of the potential contenders that got a win. 4-1 against Werder Bremen. So they are in second. But Bayern with this big win already in first, goal differential already out of reach. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Bjorn, what is the over and under? So the table was neutral, and then Bayern München had the opening game, which means Bayern München is on top of the table 100% of the time so far, right?
Right.
What is the over and under that they'll ever leave the top of the table the entire season? Do you think that they're going to be there do you think 100% of this season's table will have Bayern München in first?
Well, what happens next week? Let's see. They are at Augsburg. Yeah, I mean, if anybody else wants to get a spell at first, they better do it quick, I guess I would say. If it doesn't happen in the next couple of weeks, it's not going to happen. I mean, Augsburg I will say, had a bit of a lucky win at Freiburg in the end, but Sandro Wagner is their new coach, and he was certainly pumped on the sideline. He looked like his eyes were going to pop out of his head. He was very much. He even acknowledged in the press conference after that maybe it had been a little much. His antics on the sideline, and that he would perhaps become unlikable if he kept this up. But he couldn't contain himself, and he had reason to celebrate because Augsburg won 3-1 at SC Freiburg, who were like Europa League, right, contenders. So
Europa Park contenders. They're their major sponsor, and they go the players can go to Europa Park whenever they want.
Well, anyway, Augsburg were looking good. So if they can do anything against Bayern next week, then maybe somebody else will go in first. But if not, then it's going to get late early, I would say.
You didn't like my Europa Park joke? Europa Park is the Disneyland of Germany. They're a sponsor of Freiburg. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Remember we talked about how boring.
You're making a comment on how they played poorly in this game. Yes.
No, I'm just commenting on one of their sponsors. No, you're right. Freiburg was favorites and they lost. Good for Augsburg. Also, let coaches feel. All right, we need to get rid of this toxic masculinity. Sorry to use such strong words, but it's like let the coaches feel. What? Let them yell.
Toxic.
There was another German this weekend who we'll talk about for a bit, where not everyone, but it seemed like people were bullying him online that he was celebrating too hard and he lacked class. And he was a German World Cup winner that was really happy to score his penalty, which he scored in the 14th extra minute. But we'll save that for later. All I think is let people feel.
What, Müller was celebrating too hard? I hadn't heard that. Okay. Well,
no, you didn't. Well, you're not in the dark corners of the online web world. I spend a lot of my time.
I guess this is a conscious.
Did you see it? Did you see him celebrate like he won the World Cup after scoring the fake penalty?
Well, I mean, they did. It was a comeback win. I could get a little excited. The man, let him.
I'm supporting him. Yeah. It was a lot.
I'm supporting you, and you supporting him, and I'm supporting you, Stefan.
And I'm supporting Sandro Wagner as well. Let men feel, especially the Bundesliga.
But it's not about feel. I don't know. Well,
you're saying he's like bullying the other team, or
no?
What?
It was just a little I don't know. He just was very pumped up. I mean, yeah, it's fine. I don't think there's any. There's no real controversy. I don't think he's going to keep that up. I think it was an opening day kind of adrenaline. I mean, he was not the only one. The Köln coach, he was wearing their outfit, and he went nuts. The Schnitzel Derby. The Schnitzel Derby ended in Köln's favor. Both of the promoted teams did not lose. HSV got a point at Gladbach. Giorena's new team, NYCFC Bundesliga edition, Borussia Mönchengladbach.
See, now hold on, Bjorn. At the beginning of the season, you says Bochum's not in the Bundesliga anymore, so I don't even care about the league. Now you've got two teams. You've got St. Pauli, and you've got Borussia Mönchengladbach, all three featuring NYCFC alumni. One maybe James Sands is more of an active player. So now you got two teams.
I feel, that's true. I don't think I'm going to, we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to definitely be interested. I don't feel the same way about Joe Scally and Giorena that I feel about Jimmy Sands, who's been on our
academy kids.
Yeah, for many years, and he won the cup, and when we saw him grow up. Whereas Giorena clearly, never even played a single minute for the first team. He went from.
But his dad was the sporting director.
Yeah, that's true. But he's, he hasn't fared so well with his reputation in the last few years. So, but and Joe Scally, he played very little for the first team. He only played a couple U.S. Open Cup games. So same thing. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see. It's also funny because worlds are colliding in the sense that the spot on Borussia Mönchengladbach that Giorena is after is occupied by Kevin Stöger, who was
Former
Bochum player. Did very well for Bochum. And we have never really replaced him since he left. In terms of midfield creativity, it's been really a steep decline since then. And so we'll see. I don't think it's even a done deal that Gio's just going to walk into that starting lineup, but we will see.
No.
I'm definitely going to observe it with interest for sure in terms of alumni, lots of alumni of former teams. So,
well, it should also be noted that VfL Bochum tried to sign Gio Reyna last year, but Dortmund nixed it. They canceled it.
Yeah.
So he was going to replace Kevin Stöger last year at Bochum.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
But that didn't work. So now he's going head to head with him. As someone who knows, and you're 100% right. He's signed by Gladbach, but he has to earn his spot. So we'll see how that goes. It's less competitive than Dortmund. There's less play. Like in Dortmund, he has to compete against 5
for sure. Yeah,
of England's best 17-year-olds or whatever. Where in Gladbach, there's not a lot of that. He has to compete with just club guys.
It's right. It was. I mean, who was ahead of him? Really? I mean, I guess he played on the wing a little bit, like he.
For Dortmund, you mean?
For Dortmund, yeah. Gittins,
Julian Brandt
and Gittins, and then
Sancho came in. Yeah.
When he went to Forest, it was Morgan Gibbs-White. So yeah, Kevin Stöger definitely, compared to who he's been up against, this is a more realistic task, perhaps, but still not a given.
Yeah. So he's been freed from Dortmund. Dortmund released a whole thing where it's like he was one of ours. We're sad to see him go. And of course, everyone's like, "You freaking held him in prison for 2 years." Crying out loud.
Well, also they gave him what I didn't even realize until last week is that they gave his number to Job Bellingham. So that's like kind of while he's still on the roster. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're one of us, but like don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, you know what else is confusing about all this? And this could be a like Bundesliga nepotism thing. Was Parma offered $6 million, and they're like, no, it's $10 million or bust. From what I understand, Borussia Mönchengladbach is paying $3 million for him, and then maybe up to $7 million with bonuses. So I'm just like, was that really that much of a better deal than Parma? Like, like I said, it could be Borussia bros just working or helping each other out a little bit. I just because forever he was held up. He wouldn't go to Parma because they wanted another $3 million or something, and Parma was maybe about to pay, but then here comes Gladbach swooping in with $3 million, half that, and Borussia Dortmund's like, let's do it right away, and then sold him right to Gladbach, who's a competitor, by the way. So, like in my mind, that's probably bad business. I would probably be in the business of selling my players to teams outside of the league, so we don't have. They don't come back to bite us in the ass.
They must not be that worried about Gio Reyna lighting the league on fire. But if they, well, I mean, I think it sounded like he really preferred this over Italy, and so that always plays a part because the player has to agree to these things. And then when it comes to these transfer fees, especially in that kind of range. Transfer fees and performance, blah blah blah, triggers, etc. It's sort of we don't really know what the details are, so it's hard to compare those two numbers without knowing exactly what they were. Is 6 million just straight up, or is it 3 plus 3 if he plays a certain amount of time, or etc. etc. So we don't know.
Yeah, but maybe it was lira. Maybe it wasn't euro.
Oh yeah, exactly. Were they bringing back the lira? Just for Gio. We have our old currency.
So I was in an improv scene a couple weeks ago because I'm a performer here in the Los Angeles area. If anyone's here in LA, check the stages. I'm around, and I was in Italy in a scene with an older scene partner of mine, and he literally was like, let me give you lira. He thought the currency in Italy was still lira today.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, they retired that currency 25 years ago. The euro came and got rid of the lira, and it blew his mind. He had no idea. Good for you, man. But anywho, so the one bright light, the one sleeper agent is Eintracht Frankfurt, like you said. They're the one team that's like, hey, maybe this is their year. Now, the only thing of note, I mean, there's a few things of note from that game. But the one thing I just want to bring up, which is making the rounds on Twitter, I sent it to you, and if you got a chance, take a look at it. In the post-game interview for Sky, you know how at the end of the game, players will switch jerseys? Well, a Werder Bremen player switched his jersey with an Eintracht Frankfurt player, jersey swap, then went to go do a post-game interview with the Sky reporter, and she's like, you guys just won 4-1 opening season. Was that great? And he had to be like, I'm a Werder Bremen player. It's like, this is not, and he was really sad. This was, and she's like, oh, Entschuldigung. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't see that clip?
No, I have not.
It's great. It's freaking all over Twitter. So that's the one thing I know. If you haven't seen it, go online, check it out. And then here's a little thing for you. People were piling on her, and then our friend Archie Rentut came in to defend her and say, like, yeah, it's pathetic to misspell the player's name. And I was like, Archie, what's worse? A Twitter guy misspelling the guy's name, or the lady on live global TV mixing him up with a player from a different team? Oh. He was so sad, too. He had like a sourpuss on his face. He was clearly depressed. And she's like, 4-1, huh? And he's like, I'm not. And he was about to leave. I'd be like, no, come on, stay. Like, she fucking broke his heart. But anyway, so that's Eintracht Frankfurt. Nathaniel Brown and Timmy Chandler are still involved. Is Nathaniel Brown going to be an American? We don't know. Augsburg has Noah Kai Banks. We'll keep an eye on him. He didn't play this week. Keep an eye on him. We had Jimmy Sands as Paulo. You have Joe Scally at Borussia Mönchengladbach. And then, like you said, I saw the Schnitzel showdown, Köln versus Mainz, in Mainz, and it featured two Americans, the Danish-American Christopher Lund and the German-American Leonard Maloney. They overlapped for about 2 to 3 minutes as Leonard Maloney came on.
Magical moment.
Christopher Lund left 3 minutes later, so they high-fived on. One's coming in, one's the high-five. Christopher Lund had himself a pretty strong game for Köln. He was a left wing back for them, which is excellent because, again, it's a position we like. And then Leonard Maloney had a very forgettable, like, pretty much what happened was Mainz got a red card. Up until then, the game was a very MLS-style game. I was watching this game being like, this is what an MLS game looks like. It was like two teams, pretty even, just losing the ball in the midfield at each other. And I was like, yeah, this is how MLS does it. This is what MLS is like. And then there was a red card, and then cards change games. So then Mainz had to hold tight with 10 men. Shortly after that, Leonard Maloney came on as defensive midfielder to help with defensive duties. And Mainz couldn't even get out of their own half. And in the 89th minute, Köln finally broke the deadlock with a great cross and a header in. A great cross from Luca Waldschmidt. Remember him?
Yeah.
Luca Waldschmidt, who, you know, the United States has many flash in the pan number 9s, as you know. There's one every 3 months. Germany less so, but they did have, but Luca Waldschmidt, I would describe him as a German flash in the pan number 9 once upon a time. He was one of those dudes who was like up and coming, and then he kind of got injured and fell the wayside and went to Portugal for a bit. So, and now he's in Köln, newly promoted. It was a good team. And he came off the bench, and he did this great cross in, goal. Köln won 1-0. And if you ask me who was the newly promoted second division team, I would have said Mainz.
Would it look like Mainz?
Yeah, but Köln won, and Köln playing with a sleek black and gold kit.
Yeah. Except the coach, he had the regular kit on.
Did you see him? No, not only did he have the kit on, he was wearing jeans. He was wearing jeans. He looked like a fan. He looked exactly the way a fan dressed.
Dropped him out of plucked him out of
the crowd.
Right.
I've never seen a coach that casual before.
And he was, he talked about it in the post. He's like, he's all about Köln. He loves it. So
Good for him.
I don't know. Is that gonna be work long term? But yeah, I mean, a lot of interesting results, a lot of interesting. I had a kind of totally, also completely sidetrack kind of thought watching these highlights. I was like, people are hitting the ball very hard.
What do you mean? Like kicking it or what?
Like, yeah, it's like, I mean, there were just a bunch of bangers on this match day. Like Luis Diaz had one for Bayern, and there were in the St. Pauli Dortmund, like they were just I was like, it sent me down a rabbit hole of like, do people keep track of this? Like how hard people hit the ball?
And the bangers list?
Well, no, just like literally in terms of like, because in baseball, this is a huge thing.
Right, and you're talking about Opta.
Yeah, well, whatever. There's constant, in baseball, you're being constantly told how hard a pitch is thrown, and then if the batter hits it, you constantly have these numbers. And in soccer, we don't ever really. I don't know.
No, we do.
We do.
Am I wrong into thinking sometimes they'll shoot a goal and then a replay? It'll show the speed of it. Am I wrong? I've seen that before.
They? I don't know. I don't remember seeing that or not. I mean, I did a little bit of research online. It doesn't seem like it's a stat that's readily available over the years. I was like, do people hit the ball harder than they used to? And there's not a lot of information. I mean, anecdotally, people are like, yeah, it seems like they are. But it's like, I don't think.
I would say yes.
I don't think so.
I think the game on average is much faster. They run twice as much.
Yeah. So
they must kick the ball twice as hard too.
Yeah, probably. But there's not a lot of good data on this, as far as I could tell. We have Daniel Young in the chat and Hans Wolf. Hello, Daniel Young.
Hans Wolf, congratulations.
Is at the Mets game, and Hans Wolf is hot. Yeah. Oh, we're congratulating him for this away win. Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, you're coming back up, and you win on the road. I don't think Bochum, they didn't have a road win last year until the new year. Like, so well done. Daniel Young's at the Mets game. I was at the US Open today, and I actually spent some time watching Jan-Lennard Struff, German tennis player. He's not a young German tennis player. He's 35 years old. He was 21 now. He has had an injury, and he had to qualify to get in. He had to get through 3 qualifiers to even make it into the draw, and he won his first round game against an American opponent. And so that was my German tennis experience today.
That's one of the things I regret at my New York time not going out to the U.S. Open, because I had friends that bartended, and also, as you know, I think there's a lot of preliminaries that are like free. You can just go to before the tournament starts.
There's the qualifiers. I mean, the cool thing about the U.S. Open's awesome, and I try to go every year, and it's always, I go with a couple friends, and we've done it. We've gotten tickets for the women's semifinals where you know exactly who's playing. This year we were like, oh, we'll go early because today was literally day 2, and it's, you get a pass, you get a ticket for Arthur Ashe Stadium, but there's tennis everywhere. There's 12 other courts where people play, and you can just walk around and see if something grabs your interest. So it's very cool. It's very crowded. I mean, they let a lot of people in, but yeah, very cool day. And
I was at.
Theo is here too. Hello, Hans. Hello, Daniel.
I was hoping you guys would be here because of the Schnitzel Showdown. Mainz, thumbs up. Mainz, unfortunately, thumbs down. But it wasn't.
The red card changed everything.
The red card changed it. Up until then, it was a very even game, and the red card changed it, and red cards change games. So there you go. But overall, it was a. I'll be honest with you. I watched the game. I was excited because of you guys. But the game wasn't the most amazing game of this weekend. Like I mentioned, it was a lot of like losing the ball kind of in midfield. And it was nice to see Christopher Lund being used a lot on the left. He definitely affected the game. And again, with Leonard Maloney, we still haven't seen him broken into Mainz yet. We don't really know what he's doing there yet. But I'm hoping to see him flourish throughout the season. But I want to hear your thoughts, boys, David and Hans. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts.
Upcoming the Next round of games, we have the Hamburg Derby on Friday. Hamburger SV against St. Pauli.
That'll be a lot of fun.
That has
You know what else I noticed this year?
In the Bundesliga. It's happened in Bundesliga 2 a couple times. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
It's time for the big show. Well, I just want to say ESPN Plus, in addition to offering Goal Arena, now does this thing where you can watch 4 games at the same time on the same screen.
Okay.
And and the way it works, it has 4 games up, and then you just move your mouse around, and it switches the audio instantly.
Oh, all right.
So if you just go up, it's like the Derek Ray, and then the Phil Bonnie, and and it was really, really cool. It was like, hey, look at this. So that's A. B, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I think they're showing every Bundesliga 2 game this year. Last year it was just game of the week, I think. This year it's all of them.
I think that's true.
Not only that, they also have a Bundesliga 3 game of the week. There was Bundesliga 3 on as well.
Amazing.
I was like, dang, Bundesliga 3? Oh, the access. Germans don't get this kind of access.
I know. That is pretty crazy.
We have the world's best, technical difficulties aside, we do have the world's best Bundesliga package because it's like all games, HD, live.
Every once in a while, they forget to turn one on.
They forget to turn them on sometimes. That is true.
Generally, sometimes
the English doesn't work, and sometimes the English doesn't work.
Yeah. There's some.
And then ESPN just always cuts to Alejandro Moreno for hours on end, and with Alejandro Moreno talking about it. And I'm just like, I don't care what Ale Moreno has to say about this. League.
All of those, whether it's Craig Burley or Steve Nicol, they have the worst. They just have the worst.
Stop asking them. Yeah,
they just have the worst pundits. But other than that, it's true. It's not a bad. It's not a bad setup. I watched a little Bochum Schalke. We had the Kleine Revier Derby, the really Kleine, the very little Revier Derby of Schalke and Bochum in Bundesliga 2. Bochum looked great, had a lead, shanked another penalty like they did in the Cup. That's becoming a thing, and then lost 2-1 to Schalke in a game that they really should have won. Schalke did not look very dangerous. So, yeah, Bochum season still. I mean, not promotion. Promotion is not in the cards for us.
Both clubs are in blue, but really both clubs are in deep, deep red.
Yeah.
Books wise, there was another Yank abroad, New York Red Bull boy in my heart, hanging out in the Bundesliga 2. I can keep an eye on. As Holstein Kiel won 2-0. And in the 95th minute, this is one of those goals you wish you saw more often, but you don't. As the other team was pushing and pushing and pushing, with the goalkeeper in the box, John Tolkien picked up the loose ball, ran across the field, and kicked it into an open net, as there was no goalie. And it was one of those really cool goals you wish you saw more of. And Johnny Tolkien, the boy from New Jersey, got himself a goal, I think this week and last week. So I love the fact, by the way, that he's stuck with his club and he's going down the second division, no problem. We usually have this thing where I'm like with Josh Sargent kind of did this when he started. And look at him now, he's crushed it in the championship. Like players refuse to, they're in the top flight for 6 months and they scramble to go to another top flight club for 6 months, when it's like, really, just stick with your club. Go hang out in the second division for a year. You're still young. You're new.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of those guys on Bochum that were hoping to go somewhere else and haven't found good offers, and so they're still there. And I don't know if they're happy. I don't know. Yeah, no, but I understand. No, it's good that John Tolkien is doing well. That's great. We have David Riccio saying the US FC Köln meetup is in Chicago next month. Great city, but too short notice for a weekend trip. Hans Wolf was saying he was sweating as per usual through this game, through this Mainz. I mean, yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of easy games for Köln this year, so there'll be some sweating. But I think, at least they got 3 points. And Daniel Young is saying it's amazing to see NYCFC get a win. Well, but we need to score against DC United. He is absolutely right about this. Is it time? Is it time to transition?
I think so. I'm trying to think if there's anything Germany I want to talk about. Just Good opening weekend. Well, hopefully next weekend we'll have
more DFB Pokal coming.
More DFB Pokal. There you go. The Bundesliga is starting. Yeah, the Cologne meetup was in DC last year, I think, right? Are they gonna have fresh? They're gonna have a dude from Kolsch there again, like they had last year.
I don't know.
But I guess maybe Richo's not going. David's not going. But yeah. Anywho, there was. I'm trying to get more involved. I'm not a Borussia Dortmund fan, but I follow their Instagram. There was like 40 dudes at a bar in Santa Monica watching the game with the jerseys on. I should go out there one of these days and just party with those guys. And
the bar in Williamsburg where they had the BVB embassy during the Club World Cup, they still have the decorations up. So I don't know if people still go, but it seems like it's now still a Dortmund bar by default. So yeah, there's a lot of hipster types that like Dortmund in this country.
Need to come on to this podcast. An old friend of mine is a huge Dortmund fan. Huge Dortmund fan. Like he follows them deeply. And do you know how he got into them, Bjorn? Yes.
Stefan Chapuisat.
Oh, I don't think he even knows who that is. Which gives you a little clue as to what we're talking about. He's a diehard fan, but he's a new fan. So it's
the shirt color.
No, it was the video game Football Manager.
Oh, okay.
I love that game. It's a very popular game. Because people get into it via FIFA. He got into it from Football Manager. Dortmund was his club. He got into Dortmund, and now he's like a diehard Dortmund fan. Also, I didn't share this on Twitter.
Hans Wolf
was cut off.
I'm sorry. Hans Wolf is saying it was a really good meetup, the one in DC, the Köln meetup.
Yeah, with that fresh coach, right? Yeah, I was cut off by someone in traffic yesterday. And I would be mad. He had a giant BVB decal sticker on his rearview mirror.
I would be more mad if that was the case.
No, I'm like, you know what? This is nice. Good out of you for Borussia Dortmund. I don't care that you cut me off. It's nice that we have a Borussia Dortmund fan in my neighborhood.
Well, I'm glad you were sanguine about it.
Transition to America. I'm just happy.
Love. You're just pure love.
Well, I'm just, in North Carolina in 2002, I was considered so weird to be liking soccer. I just love that when I drive home from work in the morning, the radio station is giving away soccer tickets. We're talking Champions League. They're talking Angel City FC. They're talking LAFC. They're like, win 2 tickets. LAFC is playing the Galaxy this weekend. It's like on the radio during drive time while I'm driving home. And it's like, what a time to be alive. What a time to be a soccer fan in America.
Alive. That is true.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, speaking of which, Stefan, will you join the hype train? Will you join the hype train that's leaving the station? Whoop whoop.
Station?
I mean, I'm a fan. Of course, I'm a passionate supporter of my team, but I'm not like a blind what's the word I'm looking for? I'm realistic about how good they are most of the time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so.
And this year clearly was a transitional year. A lot of outgoings, a lot of incomings, a lot of players that were not working, leaving, a lot of new guys coming in. But I'm getting excited. I'm getting a little excited about my team, and I'm not alone. There was a lot of talk, whether it was in the studio or Mo Edu, I guess, who was commentating our game in Cincinnati. He had not seen us play since the beginning of the season, he said, and he was falling over himself, complimenting our play when we won 1-0 in Cincinnati, who were the leading team in the Supporters Shield race. And
Can I
that
just
was
offer
not,
something.
What's that?
Real quick. Sorry, you finish.
Yeah, I mean,
1-0 Supporters Shield race.
So, yeah, at 1-0 at Cincinnati. This was not a fluky win. It was a really good performance defensively. Cincinnati did almost nothing with Evander and all their offensive firepower. We held them to very few opportunities and could have easily scored 1 or 2 more. And so it was a very good win. We now have won out of the last 5 games. We've won 4 and drawn 1. And but Daniel Young's absolutely right. This means nothing if we don't beat DC. Because this is what it's been like. We have been good against top teams and we've dropped points against bad teams. So this means nothing if we don't win on Saturday against DC at home. But yeah.
Well, hold on. I don't think it means nothing. I don't think it means nothing. If you beat good teams and lose to bad teams, that means you're going to have a great playoff series. So the bad teams will be gone by then.
Perhaps.
Also, as you very quickly said last week, but didn't really look closely enough to kind of appreciate what you said, but you said that there are 10 teams going for 9 spots. And then I looked at the table, and you're right. After Team 10, there's a 10-point gap. There's a drop. And they're done with. And then, I don't want to talk about my team yet, but I'm just going to say, my team, the New York Red Bulls, we live in our own little cushion because there's a 10-point drop beneath us. But I think there's like a 5 or 6 point gap ahead of us too.
Well, now there is.
So
we've made it a little. We are 5 points ahead of you.
Well, you're not in it. You're not in it. The New York and Chicago are the only 2 teams vying for 9th place between the 2 of us. Well, everybody above us is already in, including you.
We were.
You're just trying to get.
We were in it like 2 games ago. We were, kind of even with you. So it's not like this is a new thing. That I appreciate you. Already.
Look at the table. Look at the table.
No, I think you're right. We have some games in hand, which always. Doesn't
you have a game in hand and you're up. I'm gonna look right now. You have a game in hand, you're up.
We have 5 points, right? And 2 games in hand over you.
2 games in hand. There you go. I'm telling you, it's a serious gap. So what that means is you essentially clinched the playoffs already, right? Not legally, but not legal. Whatever it's called, not legally, but we're the New York Red Bulls. We're in a weird place. We have 7 games remaining, and there's only one team we have our eyes on. There's only one team we have to be better than. Only one. That's Greggy B's Chicago Feet. Chicago Fire, coached by Greg Berhalter.
Right.
That's the only team we have to keep an eye on. If we lose, if we lose 1-0, which we did over the weekend, but then Chicago loses 4-0, which they did over the weekend, that's still a good weekend for us. It's
right.
We're -3 goals better than Chicago. So we only have one team we really have to keep an eye on. And that's a very weird thing. It's a very weird thing for us. But what that means for you guys are good to go. Because even if you lose against DC United, who cares?
Except we had,
you're not going to play them in the playoffs. DC United already eliminated. So
no, but we have, I think we're 3 points behind Charlotte. Charlotte are in 4th. 3 weeks ago, I would have told you there's 0 chance we will have a home game in the playoffs. Now we're 3 points behind Charlotte, who are in 4th with 2 games in hand. So it's not at all. It's no longer out of the realm of possibility. The East is very, very tight. So we could rise through the ranks. And so in that sense, the win over DC would be DC is the only team. There's one team that has already clinched the playoffs, which is San Diego in the West, and DC United is the only team that's officially already eliminated from the playoffs. So, yeah, it'd be still an important win. The East is very tight right now. The first 11 out of the first 11 teams in the Supporters Shield, 8 are from the East.
Yeah.
So the East is the better conference this year, and it's very tight and competitive. Some teams, Nashville have been, but I guess we're not the only hot team. Charlotte now won 7 games.
No. Charlotte were terrible over the weekend. That's the game I saw. It was a very frustrating game. They beat us 1-0 in Charlotte.
Yeah. No, you were. Terrible... I was going to say I watched a lot of that game, and you guys got a little unlucky. But they did. They have won 7 in a row, so that is a pretty good. That's a pretty good thing.
I wouldn't say we were unlucky. That 1-0 we earned. So you saw the Mo Sofo turnover that led to the goal, right?
Yeah, but other than that, you sort of had the better chances.
Right? No, 100%. But we didn't finish any of them, so that's on us. It's not like they're not like luck got out of our way. Emil Forsberg with the slam went in, then Victor Bogash is like, Bogash make a goal, and then like runs in front of the goal, and it's just like Victor Bogash is surprised when the ball heads his way. He's like, oh, it's like, Victor, you forward, you score goal. Kick it, Victor. And he's like, "Oh, right, sorry, I forgot. Goal, I get ball. Ball come to me." In our myriad of underperforming obscurios for the Polish second division, I just can't get enough of that are not of the quality of this league. I mean, the analyst said it was Taylor Twellman, I think, or whoever it was. No, it wasn't Taylor Twellman. I don't know who it was, but it was just like Victor Bogash can't be surprised when balls come to him in the ball. He has to be ready for those. That's his job. So anyway, I'm just saying we weren't unlucky. I don't like it.
Okay,
we can't score goals because we can't get goals.
Giving you credit, but
you're right. It was like 10 chances. They had no chances. Like we were barraging their goal. We just didn't have the quality to finish. Like we were penetrating on the side a lot. Tom Edwards came in a few times. Like, we had so many good opportunities, but there's just no knipsa, man. There's no finisher there.
And with Timo Werner, that's just always going to be. We're just going to keep talking about Timo Werner for like 4 more windows. That's never going to happen.
That's so interesting because that's the big thing online. And Dax McCarty had a whole beautiful spiel on it on the MLS MLS postgame show or 360 or whatever. Dax McCarty, who's a very special player for me and the New York Red Bulls fan base, he said it out loud. He's like, the fans get disappointed, window in, window out. The New York Red Bulls brass fail the fans. I'm just like, amen, brother. And now Timo Werner was just an impetus for this. But there are two types of people. A bunch of people on Twitter are like, I'm not renewing my season tickets. They didn't sign Timo Werner. It means they don't care. Like a lot of people are really bothered by this Timo Werner. I am part of a small core of reasonable folks who actually are perfectly fine with us not signing Timo Werner. Except what?
Well, no, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, just like pretty much the New York Red Bulls offered him a performance-based contract that if he scored a decent amount of goals, he would have still made $10 million a year. Like it was a good offer. But Timo Werner refused to take a pay cut. He refused to accept any performance-basedness. Timo Werner could easily go to Wolfsburg for a pay cut and go revive his career and fight for a spot on the German national team. Wouldn't you agree? Like he can do that if he wants to.
Fight for a spot on the German national team. Come on, like fight for a spot to start on a good team. Like that's where he's at.
Right. But you understand what I'm saying? As a young athlete with skills, he can make the choice to still be competitive, right?
Right.
It's very clear that he's very motivated by making the choice to collect a paycheck and coast, right? That's his behavior says that. He wanted to go to New York because it's New York, and he didn't want to take a pay cut, and he didn't want his he didn't want his contract to be performance-based. Gee, why not? I think if we signed him for ridiculous amounts of money, he would have been a bust here. He would have just been hanging out. I don't think he would have been giving us much. I think he would have been Sheridan Shaqiri 2.0. So that's my opinions on the Timo Werner thing. I would love to have come here. I would love for him to be like, this is a good, fresh start for me. I can just enjoy playing football and be my best player again. But his messaging didn't communicate that at all. That's A. And B, he can go to a different Bundesliga club and revive his Bundesliga career at least, right? He's still young. So, those are my thoughts.
I mean, right. I mean, players, he has a contract, so that's the right. That's the player's right to.
But RB Leipzig didn't even put him in the roster over the week. Like he's totally a non-persona grata at that club.
Well, but I mean, this is partly then on the club as well, no? Right? They just need to cover part of his salary, like versus.
Yeah, they could have loaned him for half, right? Maybe Leipzig pays half, New Red Bulls pays something like that. I agree with you. That deal could have been struck. But again, I question his motivation. You know how tough MLS is. If you're not motivated to give it your all, you're going to flounder, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? So many great players.
But I think this. I just don't 100% agree that this is the logical conclusion. I mean, he has a contract for a certain period of time. This is the last time he's going to make anywhere near this kind of money. It's not like so. He's within his right to want to collect that cash. Like I don't think that makes him necessarily a bad professional. We don't know what's in his heart. We don't know what. And I mean, the onus is on Leipzig too to work this out somehow. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's difficult to come to that conclusion. I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe he has no. I mean, clearly he has not done well in his last few the places
Since
he's
Chelsea.
been.
Chelsea broke him. He's on the broken Chelsea player.
And so like, but maybe there's no reviving. Maybe he just, like it was.
That's what I'm saying.
Run out this year, and then he's going to be done. I don't know, or go to.
You know who I want? I want Anders Dreyer. That's what I want. I want an Anders Dreyer in my team.
Anders Dreyer, who's the San Diego
FC star, the obscure Dane they got. He is the only player in the league that has more goals and assists than Lionel Messi.
But you're the one who you don't want to sign the obscure internationals. You keep ranting.
I want to sign them if they're good.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't want them to hang out with New York Red Bulls 2 is a USL team full of all those guys. I don't want any of those guys. I want Anders Dreyer.
You want the good guy, but that's the good one. Isn't that this is part of the MLS experience? You got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find a prince. Like they're not all.
San Diego FC did it right. I mean, they have a team of Luca De La Torre and Anders Dreyer and a bunch of players, and what's his face, Chucky Lozano. Chucky Lozano isn't even their biggest star. Like they're crushing it with a bunch of. They're doing what Colorado is trying to do. So a couple of last topics. Like I said, I think the East is competitive, but the East is just
we're done hyping up my team. No, okay.
Yeah, but the East is just about jumbling up, right? So right now you're not playing for the playoffs, you're playing for a home spot, right? We're just playing musical chairs at this point.
I mean, that'd be amazing if we got a home playoff game. It's been a long time since that happened.
Yeah, head out to Hofstra, check out the home playoff game. It'll be fun. That's both baseball teams.
I don't know. Our baseball teams are both struggling. We may have a stadium availability. Also, just a little aside here. Speaking of hype, I was in Queens today, the U.S. Open, right next to Citi Field, and I'm just walking over. You can see our stadium. Our stadium is rising. One side of it. I mean, there's drone footage online. If you look at it from above, you can actually see where the field's going to be. But now it really is taking shape. One side of it is being built. I did not take a photo. I'm not a big picture taker, but it was exciting to see. There's a big crane, and the one side of the stadium is going up. So it's happening. 2027.
Hell yeah. Is the crane going to stay, you think? Or are they going to get rid of it?
I don't think eventually they're going to get rid of it. I'm sure the first couple of games, the crane will still be there. I think that's usually how this goes.
Soft opening.
Soft opening. But eventually, I'm sure they'll get rid of it.
Well, that's really cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Cool beans. So pretty much NYCFC fighting for a home game. New York Red Bulls fighting for that last spot with one team. It's between the Red Bulls and the Fire. Which of those two disappointing MLS 96ers are going to grab that last 9 spot? I'm hoping it's the Red Bulls.
I mean, I know you don't like when I say nice things about Greg Berhalter, but there's definitely improvement, right? I mean, considering
improvement on what?
On the Chicago Fire side, they've been terrible for several years. They're in contention for a playoff spot.
Well, we'll see. I believe in heart of hearts that they're going to miss the playoffs, and we're going to go to the playoffs.
Well, and you're going to go, yeah, and you might be right about that. But then,
so if they miss the playoffs, is that amazing? I mean, come on now.
Not, I wouldn't say
60% of the team makes the playoffs.
I wouldn't say amazing, but it's definitely an improvement.
All right. From where I don't know how they finished last year.
We'll talk about this more. There's a few games left.
So there's
it's going to go quick now. I mean, a lot of teams only have 6-7 games left, so this is going to go quickly.
Except
unfortunately, with our what's that?
Except for the Leagues Cup teams.
Oh, the Leagues Cup teams. The Leagues Cup. All the Mexican teams have been eliminated.
Gone. So now the MLS teams just have these 2 extra dumb games they have to play. Well, everybody else is trying to win an MLS Cup. But the LA Galaxy. The LA Galaxy. This is their one chance to actually, for Marco Reus, this is the one title they can actually win this year. So for them, it matters, I think.
Well, and 3 out of 4 teams get a Champions League spot.
Oh, what do you mean? 3 out of the 4 teams right now
for the Leagues Cup? There's 3 champions. 3 Champions Cup spots are on the line for Leagues Cup.
Get ready for all that Pepto-Bismol, baby. You're heading to Mexico. Whoop whoop. Yeah, but I just love that all the Mexican teams are gone by now. It's such a typical MLS engineered tournament and blown up in their face.
This format was definitely an improvement, but now nobody cares.
Now it had a flaw, right?
Again, yeah, it's not. Yeah, there's still work to be done about the Leagues Cup. It's not the final answer.
Yeah, I was watching the Leagues Cup on my phone, meeting a friend of mine for dinner, and he asked me about the tournament. And I spent 5 minutes trying to kind of explain the tournament a little bit. It's not an easy one to explain.
What do you mean?
Like, why is it engineered? I'm just like, well, there's a real one.
It's Liga MX and against MLS. What do you mean? That's not difficult. It's the concept.
Yeah, but it's not a real tournament. It's engineered. It's the second 2 tournaments.
Well, it's just lopsided. It's all in the U.S. and the Mexican.
It's a marketing.
Don't care about it, and so it's not fully. It's not.
It's a marketing cash grab. And speaking of MLS engineering,
yes,
I guess there is one topic. Last weekend, I had to eat my words because I said keep your eyes on Paxton Aaronson getting minutes for Frankfurt this year.
Back.
And then out of nowhere, Colorado Rapids spent millions of dollars and signed him to be their DP this year. And I was like, that was not in my bingo card. So good. A lot of people criticizing him for leaving Europe. I'm going to let that aside. Sure, I thought it would have been nice for him to duke it out in Frankfurt this year. But
but yeah, I mean, he was like a marginal. He was marginal to make their squad. It's like much less like be a starter or anything. Yeah.
And now he's a DP player and he's up for the World Cup probably now and stuff. So whatever. And also, what I want to normalize too, what's very common in Brazil and Argentina and places like that, I want to normalize players coming back and forth all the time. Like in Brazil, it's very common for a player to be like at Aston Villa for 4 years. Then comes back to Flamengo for a year, and then goes right back to Spain. Right, you know what I mean? Like they hop back and forth, no problem.
Right.
Same with Argentinians. They're like, I was at River for 2 years. I'm going back to Spain, and so then I'm going to Independiente. Like they hop back and forth quickly. I would love to get in the habit of, if necessary, normalizing that for America. Like for the ones that come back to MLS, we treat it like it's a life sentence. I would love for a dude to come here, play a year or two, and then maybe make his way back. I would love to normalize transatlantic back and forth thing between MLS.
I mean, I think that's the goal, right? I mean, because if that were the case, that would mean that MLS is at a similar level of those, which currently is not yet the case, but getting closer, perhaps.
All right. Speaking of MLS engineering, though.
Yeah.
The big sort of to-do up in Vancouver way was it was Thomas Muller's first 90. He started and yada, yada. And, Vancouver were in great shape. They plug a new player and they lost last week. No, they tied last week. It felt like a loss.
Yeah. Very unlucky, but yes.
Very unlucky. And then this week, with Thomas Muller playing, he was the team captain. He was a full Radio Muller. They trailed most of the game. It was 2-2. And then all of us, so it's 2-2 at home. And all of a sudden the ref says 10 minutes of stoppage time. 10 minutes of stoppage time. And I'm like, I watched this game. Did you watch the game? I watched the whole game.
I did not.
And I'm just like, 10 minutes stoppage time. I'm just like, 10. Do I remember major stoppages? When I think 10 minutes of stoppage time, I think a concussion happened, right? I think a
hydration break. Yeah.
Hydration break. I think stretchers.
Checks. Yeah.
None of that happened, I don't think. So that's quiz 1. Then in the 14th minute, like 2 minutes plus, he VAR'd and called a penalty. And everyone's like, huh? And did you see the VAR, the penalty at all?
I did not.
We'll wait. Go look at it right now.
Okay, hold on. Well, you keep talking.
Yeah, let me check the chat real quick. Let's check. How are boys doing in the chat? Let me check the chat.
I think we're all caught up with that as far as last I saw.
Caught up. Did anybody else see the Thomas Muller penalty? What would you guys think? He scored it. He was a winner. He won 3-2. It was a big moment for Thomas Muller. But all the fans, the St. Louis fans, feel robbed. Which reminds me, it was Roman Berkey, it was Marcel Hartl, it was Joel Klaus. I read the report on Kicker. It was just all these former Bundesliga players showing up. Thomas Muller, Marcel Edvard Löwen had himself a great game. Former Bochumer.
Oh, the trip! The trip! I did see this.
Yeah, is that a penalty? Is that a VAR obvious call?
No,
penalty?
he falls over himself, right? Kind of.
Right. So for those of you at home who haven't seen it,
yeah, that's not a good call.
It's two players. They kind of cross paths a few seconds prior, and then one guy trips over his own feet and falls. Now there is contact. Right before then, the player does very slightly, the defender very slightly.
Right. Yeah,
touches the guy, which makes him fall over himself a step or two later. So by the letter of the law,
he trips
Vancouver.
Trips him in the box, yeah.
There is, I think the letter of the law means contact without caring about intent. Intent doesn't matter. So technically, he was allowed to call, but that was VAR'd. So was it clear and obvious? A, I don't think it was. And B, when you look at something like that, 99 times out of 100, the referee says no go, and nobody has a problem with it, right? No one looks at that and be like, oh, what a blown penalty, right? Everybody and their mother looks at that and says, stand back up, keep playing, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Maybe. It's tough because it is. Yeah, he trips him in the box. It's in some ways it's clear cut. There's no other. But yeah, the clear and obvious thing is always the thing, right? If you overturn, it depends on what the ref says. If he's like, oh, I didn't see this at all, then the VAR has to step in. If the ref says, oh, this was not enough for a penalty, then they should go with it. Anyway, yeah, it was a little soft. But he got unlucky last week when he had scored a great banger. And
the guy was offside. It was unlucky, but it was also a good call. Yeah. But anyway, Thomas Muller got his penalty. The fans think the league engineered it, and they want to investigate the refs for.
That's not what happened.
But Thomas Muller cheered. He cheered so hard, and people on Reddit were criticizing him for cheering too hard. I think he was into it. I don't know. I was into it. But Thomas Muller got his win. It wasn't super romantic. He got his goal, but it was off that very, very soft penalty in the 14th minute of extra time.
Yeah.
So, it's not without controversy. Let's put it that way. Son Heung-min also scored himself a banger.
Beautiful free kick goal. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. Cool. Good
That's
stuff.
All I got, baby.
That's all we got. Yeah. Well, this was a very zippy Schnitzel Boys combo hour. I liked it.
To the point. We're talking our Schnitzel Boys.
We're going on, playing DC, big game against DC United on Saturday.
It's not that big of a game.
The hype train is leaving the station. Everybody loves NYCFC now, and we're gonna just the toast of the league.
All right, good for you guys. Hope you guys play well against Rene Weiler and DC United.
Thank you. All right. Next week is Labor Day? No.
Next week is Labor Day. It is Labor Day.
We'll be here, right? Probably.
Possibly, yeah. Probably.
Right, keep very you posted. Good. Labor Day special. Yeah. We'll see you then.
Labor Day special. Thank you very much, Hans Wolf and David Riccio and Daniel Young was always in the chat. If you're listening at home, it's interactive. Come on live. Talk to us.
We will read it out. Whatever you say. Probably. Not everything, but almost everything. All right.
Goodbye. The revolution. The Schnitzel Boys revolution will not be televised. It will be broadcast live on the web.
It will be YouTube it. YouTube it. All right.
YouTube it, baby. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.